From across Maryland, Virginia, and the District, this is Washington's 24-hour local news leader. The News Channel 8 Morning Report starts right now.
11 minutes now before 11 o'clock. The District getting even greener, and this weekend you'll be able to find answers to just about any of your environmental questions. Lots more at the D.C. Green Festival. And we are joined this Friday by Greg Drury. He's the Executive Director of Wholeness for Humanity, and he's a part of the environmental conference, the 5th annual, that will be taking place in cooperation and at the same time as Greenfest. Greg, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're in a good position to answer this question for me, because this is the 5th conference. It's also the 5th edition of Greenfest. Talk about the growth, not just in the movement, but in the acceptance of the movement over that period of time.
It's obvious that, people are getting greener all the time. You see it everywhere. We have Whole Foods. People are carrying their yoga mats down the street. The bike industry is booming. People are getting greener all the time. It's so interconnected that every step people take, it rubs off on their neighbor, and obviously the media is going wild with this.
It's not just the true believers, though. At some point you have to reach that sort of tipping point, that critical mass, if you will, when everybody sort of, their consciousness is raised, to borrow a phrase from the 60s. Suddenly, recycling is just the very beginning of it. It's not the only thing that you do.
Well, the interesting thing about being green is it's one step more. And you have to just be a little more organized, a little more conscious. I was talking to a guy the other day who's driving back and forth to work. He says, I'm not green at all. But he's trying to, keep his family in shoes. So sometimes when the economy gets bad, people can't go green.
And actually, you anticipated a question I was going to pose to you, because it's one thing to be able to sit there and mull over choices in good times. It's another thing when people are just doing the best they can to keep their heads above water.
That's right. The interesting thing about being green is it's also the most affordable way to go, too, because when you find yourself without a lot of money, you start cutting costs. You want to lower your heating bill. You want to do a lot of things that are sustainable just to save a buck. So it goes both ways, really.
You're the Executive Director of Wholeness for Humanity. Give me the thumbnail sketch of the organization and what you'll be talking about at the conference.
Well, Wholeness has been around about 18 years, and basically we're about raising awareness in health, wellness, and now in the last 6 years, environment, social justice, and peace. So basically the Greenfest is 400 green exhibitors that are spread out in the D.C. Convention Center. And the D.C. Environmental Conference, which is usually run at University of the District of Columbia or another university, has nestled itself within Greenfest this year because of the election year and all the other activities going on in D.C. So we wanted to minimize, that logistic. The Greenfest will have a number of main stage speakers. They're housing our project, which is a big 70-person space called the Community Focus Pavilion. And we also have a 300-person breakout room where the EPA, who is our partner on this project, will be giving an award to the city. Mayor Fenty can't come because he's having a child this weekend, but he'll be sending Dan Tangerlini. We're going to have George Hawkins, Tommy Wells, and a number of Chesapeake watershed leaders there.
It occurs to me that the convention center is a place that we've become sort of conditioned to think about trade shows and things like that going on there. It makes perfect sense that there is a green trade show in effect going on as well. So.
Well, I know D.C. is trying to be the greenest city in the country. Obviously, it's the capital, and there's tremendous green initiatives. The D.C. Environment Department just got launched a couple of years ago, and they have been crazy busy ever since that happened. So I know they're really working hard, and we're excited that they're going to be there with us talking about their projects as well.
Greg Drury, the Executive Director of Wholeness for Humanity. He's going to be at the Environmental Conference. It's Saturday and Sunday. Starts at 10 on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us, Greg.
Thank you,
Good
Dave.
to have you here.